All right, we got anybody in this live stream? Can you guys hear me? All right, we'll give it a couple. We'll give it like a minute or two here. Is the audio okay? I'm guessing everybody in here got a chance to watch the couple 300 WSM videos from today and the last couple days. All right, so to keep this a little bit more interesting here, I see there's a couple of people here, like 12 people. Tell me what you want to know, and we'll get started. The 300 WSM is dead. The barrel is dead. That project is dead as a whole. Yeah, in my opinion, I think it needs to be in a long action, not to mention our barrel's junk. So that project is dead. I have a new project in mind that I think is going to be neat. It's going to be kind of a do it yourself wildcat, I think. So we will see how that goes. So I went ahead and I ordered that bar line barrel. Obviously, we had issues with that. I actually got a good deal on that from Optics Planet. They shipped it right away, came in within a couple days, but the box was empty. So totally screwed there. I looked around. I was trying to find another bar line. I wanted to find a 9 twist. We could shoot just a little heavier bullets. And I ended up settling on I ordered a Schillen barrel. Now, I don't have any experience with Schillen barrels, but everything I could read online said that they were a good deal. So I ordered a Schillen barrel. It shipped today. And my plan is for 300 Psalm, but we're going to take and modify 300 Psalm. So I've come up with this idea using myself and AI that I can run our chamber 50,000 short, take our 300 Psalm brass, push the shoulder back 50 thousandths, and that will get me short enough. It'll get me to like 1 point. Well, and then obviously we'll have to trim it. And that should get us to like 1.9, I don't know, 1.95, something like that cartridge overall length. The hope with that is I can use a standard reamer, standard brass, and then I will have to modify the sizing die, which is pretty easy. I've modified a bunch of sizing dies. So, like just sitting here on my press, I've got a few. So, like for instance, my dasher die that I use, if you guys look at it here, is sorry, this is a dasher die, but I have it cut down and I use it for 6BRA. So I'm not new to the cutting down of dies. I've also used our 7mm 08, which I guess I'm going to have a tool to break that loose, but pull this off. So our 7mm 08 die here is actually a 280 AI die that we cut down and modified as well. So we're not new to the modifying die situation. But anyway, I had planned on doing a 300 Sherman short, but I really didn't like the idea of paying $195 for a Hornady die. Not that I have any problem with Hornady dies. I mean, it's actually kind of my go-to. I love Hornady dies and Forster, but I did want to go ahead and buy the expensive dies. Then you have limited brass, and I don't know. I guess I really wanted to do Sherman short. I think the first Sherman cartridge we do will be 7 Swick, but whatever. Either way, Um, I have the barrel ordered. I've got the die ordered. So we're gonna have to modify the die. That'll probably be the first step because then I'm gonna size some brass. Once I get some brass size, then I'm gonna get an idea of what I want to do as far as kind of considered making a go gauge. However, since this is gonna be my own cartridge that I only hand load in, like, do I really need a go gauge and no go gauge? I guess probably not, right? Because I can just size the brass to fit the chamber that I make. Um, but anyway, the goal with this is going to be 28-inch barrel. It's a straight bull. That was part of the problem too. I wanted a bull barrel to add some weight to it. Um, 10 twists still, so it should stabilize everything I want to shoot. It won't stabilize the bore rider, which everybody wants. But the bore rider needs to be in a long action anyway, so not worried about that. Um, and I think from my research, let me go grab something real quick. I already have a bunch of RSOM brass here. So this is actually 7 RSOM, which has been fired one time. So, and it's also just old fashioned Remington brass. I shot um, whatever, one round of this through here. And I think because we're going to be sizing this up, it's going to help us with our neck thickness a little bit, right? So when we expand our 7 millimeter brass to 30 cal, it should make these necks thinner, which hopefully will keep us from having to turn necks. Not that turning necks is the end of the world, but I don't want to turn necks. So this piece here is, again, it's 7 Psalm, which is going to be our starting point, 015. It's supposed to be 2.015. I think we having a little problems here. I think glitching a little bit. Um, but anyway, I think we can get this down to like 1.9 something, right? Push that shoulder back. We're going to keep our SOM shoulder angle. So that way, if anybody else wanted to do this, which I'm sure people have done this before, right? This isn't new. Um, Essentially, you could take a factory reamer, factory brass, kind of factory die, and get something close to 30 Sherman short. Um, we'll see if that pans out. I, I've been quite disappointed with 300 WSM. I know the barrel shot like crap, but even with my full loads, we've got to seat everything so deep. Our case capacity is just not what it needs to be. So tell me what you guys think. What's the verdict on this? Am I crazy? Is this a good idea? Is it a bad idea? Let's see, reading some comments here. If you don't want to turn next, why don't you have the MAFE to alleviate that? I don't know what that means. What's the MAFE? Uh, Somebody hasn't been following this actual barrel. Basically, I had a ballistic advantage barrel. I bought 2 of them on Black Friday for $100 a piece. Thought they'd at least shoot reasonable. My 300 WSM does not. It shoots good groups 0.8s, bad groups 2 inches, right? So, um, What has my 300 WSM brass doing since it was shot? Well, I shot it yesterday, so it's still in the box. There's nothing wrong with it. It's nothing. Nothing's happening to it right now. Oh, if you don't want to turn next, why don't you have the okay? If I have the reamer made, then why don't I just go full custom? Would be my question. My thought with this is that I want this to be a simple kind of wildcat, essentially. A wildcat that you could use a factory reamer, use a factory die that you can modify. If you have a lathe, it's pretty easy to modify a die. Um, and use brass that's already pretty well available. So seems like to me a lot of my issues when I'm trying to pick cartridges, because I basically just sit online and try to come up with new ideas. I try to come up with new ideas on cartridges, and a lot of it is determined by the dies you can get. I don't have a lot of patience to wait a month or 2 months or 3 months to get a reamer made or get a die made. That's actually why I bought a lathe, because I was too tired of waiting on prefit barrels. So, my idea is you can use off the shelf stuff, make a cool wildcat that's very similar to 300 Sherman short, and get hopefully that kind of performance in a short action. Does that answer Dee Dee Rolston's question about the reamer situation? Yeah, I should have known better with the die, or sorry, with with the barrel, but essentially, I had a arrow barrel that shot well, so I thought maybe a BA one would shoot well, and they were $100. How can you pass that up, right? Ended up being fun anyway, right? If I never tried them, how would I know? Kind of like that the first time I bought a Douglas barrel, I didn't pay a lot for it. Which one was that? Can't remember which one it was, but it ended up shooting good. So that was kind of my idea this time. I was really close to pulling the trigger on a custom rifle barrel. Is that the brand? They had one on, I don't know, Red Hawk rifles or bug holes or something like that. That was a 10 twist. I think it was a 10 twist, their contour competition contour 30 cal barrel. It was $440 because we're doing let's call it a random wildcat that may be an awful idea. Um, you know, thought maybe using a shilling. Yes, select match shilling barrel. Yes, supposedly they're all hand lapped, and from what I read online, everybody says stainless steel, right? Because they offer other ones. Everybody says they shoot great. Um, so we'll see. But anyway, that is the project I actually have. Let me go grab it. So this is our tomato steak here that I think we're going to put out in the garden. Go ahead and put that one out in the garden to grow some tomatoes on or something like that. But it was really confusing to me. I the the barrel looks nice. It looks nice on the inside. Like it cut nice. It's a nice profile. Like I don't really understand how it could be so bad. Eventually, at some point in time, I may cut it down. I don't know. I don't know. But this one's dead to me. I pulled it off the other day after shooting it. Let's see. Okay, let's go back to some comments here. Yeah, everybody says BA barrels are junk, so apparently I'm not the only one who thinks that. Let's see. I'm in Wisconsin, so I will stick to local barrels or what Northern Shooter Supply carries. Yeah, the dead to me label, that was to remind myself that, you know, don't go pull out this barrel in 6 months and think it's going to shoot good, because I'm the kind of person who I would really like to figure this thing out. It's kind of like my Mossberg, right? Like you, you, you can't just accept it. There's got to be a reason why this shoots awful. I would have to imagine maybe if I like gauge pinned it or something, maybe it's wonky with consistent size or something like that. if I wasn't so upset with this barrel, I would cut it down, chamber it in 30 BR, which everybody knows 30 BR is the greatest cartridge ever, right? Like all those BR cartridges are, and see if like 30 BR can save it. Uh, Again, that's a project for like another day because this has wasted a lot of my range trips, and honestly, there's even been some stuff I haven't showed, right? Like for instance, the scope test when I mounted my Schmidt and Bender on here just to shoot a 2-inch group with a $6,000 optic. Um, right, that was fun. Then there's 2 more videos you guys haven't seen. Um, well, okay, there's at least 1 more video you guys haven't seen that I need to edit. It is a EC tuner test with this Ballistic Advantage barrel, which is probably actually fairly interesting, I guess. We used the 174 grain Hornady bullet, kind of interesting. Um, then we redo that test with the 200 grain hybrid, and that's how this got the logo dead to me. Osprey from Patriot Valley. No, I did not say Osprey. My 22 GT barrel was from Osprey, Patriot Valley Arms. Now it was given to me, not by them, but by a friend. So I never interacted with them. I thought about buying one of those too. Um, I think they shoot well, but everybody online talks about Shellin, how great Shellin is and how it's underrated. And we'll try it. I mean, if it shoots like crap, then we'll just buy another barrel because that's just what I like to do anyway, is waste money. So, all right. Anybody else got any questions they want answered? It doesn't have to be related to this project either. Um, Basically, it's pouring the rain at my house. My wife's at work. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that. And honestly, I only gave it more of a chance than I would have because the Bartline barrel didn't come in. The box came empty. So I would have never planned as many barrels. It was ready to come off that day I ordered the Bartline. Let's see. Just got a 6 arc from them. Okay, so you're talking about Patriot Valley Arms 6 arc. Yeah, they seem like a good company. They actually reached out to me. So I mentioned that OBW Patriot Valley Arms barrel didn't was given to me from someone who said it didn't shoot, and they actually reached out to me and were trying to get the serial number off it and things like that because they wanted to know who bought it, if they ever reached their customer service and all that. So basically, they were trying to make it right, not with me, because it was fine with me. Um, but anyway, the barrel shot great for me. I got no problems with that 22 GT. Okay, let's see. Don't think barrel accuracy is dependent on just dimensions and surface finish. Um, I don't know. I guess not. I don't know what would it be due to if it's not due to dimensions and surface finish. Got a six creed outlier for sale if you want it. No, I've done the six creed thing actually twice. Um, Not that I dislike six creed, I just don't see the point. Too much case capacity. Um, mm, Too much case capacity, and really, my favorite 6 millimeter cartridge is 6BRA or 6BR. And I still have that six creed, right? Yeah, I've got a narrow six creed that I cut down to use as a hunting barrel, which it seems to work just fine. I mean, I guess metallurgy would be fine. I don't know enough about metallurgy or stress or any of that stuff. The funny thing is about this barrel, this Ballistic Advantage barrel, sometimes when I dial barrels in on the lathe, sometimes I don't know what it comes down to. Sometimes it takes forever for me. Sometimes it comes in real quick. And I feel like this one dialed in really easy. So I don't know if that means anything. The next time I have one dial in very easily, I'm going to be very suspicious. 25 cal. Yes, 25 Creedmoor. I've got one. I don't have a ton of videos on it. I haven't shot it a ton. Um, but I think 25 Creedmoor is great. I think what do we do? A load with the hybrids, burger hybrids, and I think that was one of the cartridges we got the A tips to shoot good in. Let me go grab my load book. All right, so I'm looking and I can't find it. Let me see where the 25 cal book is. Got too much stuff around here. Ah, here we go. All right, 25 cal, right? So 25 Creed, it's 1 and 7.5 proof. Let's see, where's this guy at? 25 cal. Let's see, 134 ADMs, 135 burgers we shot, which they were good. 134 ELDM. I think we shot those at distance. Yeah, 200 yards. The A tip again shot good, right? 0.59, 0.47. One of the A tips that actually shoots good. But I think this was the load that we kind of settled on, which is why the barrel came off. What do we do? 135 burger hybrid with H4350. Oh, we also shot the cutting edge, right? Copper solid. That was fun. Um, yeah, a bunch of load work with 135 hybrids. Yeah. So we do have some 25 stuff if you guys pay attention. Um, yes, I've seen the bore of a savage. I've got a couple. They all shoot pretty good. Why? Why do the savages shoot good? And why do the ballistic advantages shoot like crap? I don't know. All right, what's everybody else want to know here? Got our what's funny, I just dumped all this brass in here the other day. I actually cleaned this box out for 300 WSM. Um, which is funny because it's trash. Anybody else got anything they're interested in? We're gonna clear the deck here of this stuff. Savage barrels, right? You guys want to talk about those? Have you seen the targets I use on my channel? I'd seen if you're interested. Reloading fun. Let's see. I'm not sure if I've seen those or not. Let's see. Let's see. How do I get to reloading funds YouTube? Loading fun. I don't think I've watched any of your channel. Okay, here we go. Reloading fun. Oh, they're squares. Okay. No, I've not. I've recently, this is actually going to come as a surprise to you guys, or I would think. I recently bought a printer for my house, right? I didn't have a printer. Um, I would usually just print at work, but I did buy a printer, so I've started to print my own targets. Um, did start to print my own targets, so that's fun. Um, have I been lining up any matches to shoot this year? Well, the plan was, so if you guys know, I've got a buddy, that's his 300 Norma mag. And so that was really why I built the WSM. So we could both go and shoot a Magnum cartridge. We like to go over to Rainers and shoot. We need to make one, let's see, this springtime. So we'll try to make one in the spring. But I don't really shoot a lot of matches. Um, Rainers is about it. I had a friend who was into PRS and I thought about doing some of those from time to time, but he's kind of quit that game. So so have I. Pretty much quit most of that. I do have 22 now, which I never shoot. I kind of plan to shoot a couple of PRS 22 matches. Then I never got around to it. So I'm kind of just ending up with too many projects as I just bought stuff for another project. All right. So we're gonna run this till 7:30. If you got anything to ask, let's get it out. Because like I said, we're gonna run this till 7:30. If you guys want to do live streams in the future, probably could do more. I really didn't know if anybody would show up, to be honest with you. See, I didn't miss any questions, did I? No. But yeah, so now it's just a waiting game. My shilling barrel I bought is coming FedEx. So it probably won't come in either. That's been my experience with FedEx. But I ordered the die from them too. Die was on sale. Die was like $40 for a uh, shoot. What did I buy? I can't even remember what brand I bought for magazine or magazine reloading die. But we'll make a video cutting it down. So we've done it before. I think first one I cut down was that BR mag again, not a mag. That BR die. Large sample size tests. Um, yeah, I mean, if I was ever going to do a large sample size test, I'm guessing you mean like 40, 50 rounds. It would be with a small cartridge. Oh, arrow matches, yeah. Large sample size. 10 for me is large sample size. I know it's not um legitimately large sample size. I did take a few statistics classes in college. But I don't really care, to be honest with you. I think if I can shoot a good 10 round group, I imagine it would correlate to 20 or 30. And just practically speaking, I never do that anyway. So good barrels shoot well, in my opinion. Now, I don't know, large sample size, 10 rounds, maybe a 20 round group one day, but that would be with a really good load. Arrow matches, I hate the arrow matches. I don't see the point in them. Um, Now, that's not to say your mileage could vary. You may have really good groups with the arrow matches, but my arrow matches, they don't shoot good. And Hornady is getting on my nerves lately. So, the reason why is I have 3 boxes of these 22 grain, 88 grain ELD matches that I can't shoot because all the tips break off and they shoot super erratically. And one of these boxes is a replacement that Hornady sent me. So, like, I don't know what I would ever use these for. The arrow matches started to shoot poorly too. Like, I just buy burgers, right? Or usually the ELD matches are great, but as you can see, those are marked bad too. Okay, let's see. Talked about the arrow matches. Yeah, six dasher. Go buy 108 burgers or 105 burgers. Favorite cartridge right now. If I could have one cartridge and one cartridge only, for me, it'd be 6BR or 6BRA. If I was more of a hunter, it'd be 25 Creedmoor. Why are you adding any actions to the channel? Yes. One of these days we will buy a long action. One of these days we will buy a long action. It'll probably be either a Tika, which isn't a real long action, but long enough for me, or maybe like a Mac Bros. What is it, an Evo 2 or an Hour Solus long action? Let's see. Bought 4 boxes of those and they're fine. Yeah, I never had other tips break off, but I just, I mean, they're not real expensive bullets, but once you shoot one or two and the tips come off, you've had enough of that. What's the main thing you're trying to stay away from? Let's see. That's one of the main things I'm trying to stay away from is tip bullets for 6 arc. Quantity 22 bullets suck for breaking off those tips. Yeah, honestly, the only ones I've ever had break tips is the 22 cal. I don't really understand. And I like, for instance, these are noted bad. Like if you pull them out and push on the tips, like they don't break. So it's like, they don't break off. I don't know. It's like just some of them are defective. I don't understand it. But again, they got the marker label like the BA barrel. So if you guys have noticed, I've been fooling around. Obviously, we all love burgers, but I've been fooling around with more Sierra bullets. I know a lot of people love Sierra bullets. They seem to be about the same price as burgers, so I just buy burgers. Anything in the BR, yeah, 6 BR, 6 Dasher, and 22 BR. Yeah, I don't have a 22 BR. I got the GT, but same deal, right? Advice for getting into PRS precision reloading. Um, let's see. You probably you probably need some kind of automatic scale to weigh out powder charges, decent press, whole bunch of brass. I don't do PRS, so I'm probably not the right person to ask. I do have a reloading setup now that's probably would be fairly conducive to PRS, I guess, since I have an Andy 120 XI. Actually, I have two of them right now. Um, and then I have an auto trickler, what, V3? And T3, what, optics or something like that, auto dropper, which is new to me. Yeah, 20 BR. I don't know anything about 20. I know about 22. Six Moses cartridge, 22, 223 case. Yes, I had someone comment about it, I think, six Moses. In a 223 case. I don't know. I would look that up. I love 6 millimeter. Twist rate for the 300 WSM is 1 in 10. However, that project's dead. Bartline barrel. Yes, I ordered a Bartline barrel. However, the box came in and it was empty. So they refunded me. So we do not have a Bartline 30 cal barrel currently. The new CR 105. Yeah, who was that? Ultimate Reloader or something like that just tested that bullet. I didn't know anything about that until I saw his video. Um yeah. Um I think 300 WSM will return in a long action one day, maybe like in the fall when I buy another action. Let's see. If I like 6 millimeter, look at 6x45. Again, I have plenty of 6 millimeter stuff. I think the one, I don't know, six arc. I have a Savage barrel six arc. So if I was going to do another 6 millimeter, I'd probably do a heavy barrel six arc. Yeah, 300 WSM. I commented on one of my videos today. 300 WSM is a misnomer. It's not a Winchester short magnum. It's at least a medium magnum, right? Medium length. Because like with those Burger 200s, they got to be at 3.1 to get, well, 3.075, right, to get anywhere near the lands. To load them at mag length, which is still pretty far out, right? 2.950. It's like the ogive's like almost inside the case. 7 Claymore. Let's see. That's 7x47 Mapua, something like that, I think, right? Another Cortina cartridge. That'd be cool. Yeah, 7x47 would be cool, but 7 Swick is my next 7 millimeter. You guys can take that one to the bank. 7 Swick. That's my next 7 millimeter. I have a ton of 7 millimeter bullets right now that need shot. And I really had to hold back from just dropping this 300 Magnum deal the whole way and going to 7 millimeter. But no, we're gonna push on through with a shilling barrel. We're gonna call it the 30 RR SOM. We'll call it the 30 RR for Rob's Reloading SOM. Um, Current plan is 50 thousandths shorter, both in cartridge overall length and in what, case to datum line, whatever you want to call it. 7BR. Yeah, I've looked at a lot of that. The thing that bothered me with 7BR, Cat's gonna come in here and mess up things. Let's put her on the screen. The problem with 7BR, there's not a lot of there's not a lot of like 7 millimeter boat tail bullets that are light. Like there's not a lot of there's not like a there needs to be like a 130 hybrid target. 737 versus arrow action. Is it worth the money? No, not worth the money. However, do I and it's really hard to answer. Is it a 1500, like is the $1,500 action that much better than like the 650 you can pay for the arrow? No. I actually really love my arrow. Um, but there is a difference, especially as it broke in. Um, the 737's better. I think if I had it to do over though, I wouldn't buy the 737. I would buy I don't know what I would buy, honestly. Maybe a bat? Maybe like what is their what do they have like a 70-degree action or something like that? I forget what it's called. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't I think the 737's overhyped. Let's just say that. Now, listen to podcasts and things like that. It sounds like people say that they're bulletproof, right? They never break, they always feed, they always function. And if that's the case, then maybe it is the action to go for. I mean, I haven't had any feeding problems with mine, which is really why I bought it to begin with, because my Seekins never fed right. Have you looked into Seven Saw? No, not really. What is Seven Saw? Uh, how does a person make a video showing that the action isn't that critical to accuracy? Well, I got a 6BRA video that is edited, filmed, probably come out, what is say, Wednesday? I don't know, maybe this weekend. That it shoots some pretty good groups with a Mossberg action. But if you listen to anybody who does bench rest or the serious F class stuff, they all talk about how important the action is. So they know a lot more than me. Um, Mossberg action. Um, they know a lot more than me. So I think you can get very reasonable accuracy, like stuff like that for me. Half inch is cool. I don't care if it's half inch. I'm fine with that. I don't need any better than that. Now, it doesn't mean I don't want it, but I think if you're really going for like the best accuracy, get you good action. And then at least two, kind of like when I was in Mossberg, you're not questioning whether it's the action or not. If you're gonna spend 1,500, get a bat or Borden. I run a 730S to my PR skin. I agree. I think that's true. Um, I didn't well, because what are they? The impacts are what, like 1,400, I think. But if you read on the forums, people talk like the 737 is the Mona Lisa Vito of actions, which maybe it is. Like I said, I don't know. I mean, I was disappointed in how mine felt when it was new, but if I if it would have came in today and I felt it today, I probably wouldn't be disappointed. It's smooth. It's got a light it's got a light, whatever you call it, bolt lift. Like it's a fine action. What bullet would you shoot for higher weight 22 cal bullets? I think the Burger not what is it? Burger 90 grain hybrid. Let me go look. I think that's what it's called. Actually, no, it's not the 90 grain VL or hybrid. It's the VLD target, the 90 grain, right? That's the one I would use. I have some good loads with the 90 grain Sierras too, though. Use an expander mandrel or expander ball. Depends on the cartridge. Um, I've fooled around with some expander mandrels in 7 millimeter. Um, a lot of times though, I just use the expander ball. So my go-to would be expander ball just because of convenience. I don't. This is going to sound ridiculous. Uh, with my 700, the full custom rifles don't shoot any better. Yeah, I think that depends. I think if you give a bench rest guy like a Mossberg action and you give him like a custom action and you fit the barrel, like you cut the tenon so they'd fit both, I think there would be a difference. Now, again, that's speculation on my part. I can't prove that because I can't shoot well enough or load well enough. Just picked up a 22 6 millimeter Ackley. Actually, don't know what that is either. Borden Timberline Magnums. Yeah, the Borden actions, I think they must be really good, but I don't know. Let's see. I've been watching your videos for a long time. Really enjoy watching your proof of concept stuff. I don't reload shoot factory ammo much, but I've learned a lot. Yeah, and you know what? I really just do this for fun. Keeps me busy, gives me something to do. A lot of what I do, if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I wouldn't be doing it, right? If I didn't have a YouTube channel, I'd probably build 2 cartridges, maybe three, two custom rifles, and that's really it. And I would have one load, shoot that all the time. Um, but then I wouldn't shoot as much. I'd be bored because like what am I gonna do, right? Or now I'm constantly thinking about different bullets, different cartridges. You know, I mean really just random stuff. This guy says let's prove it with the action. I don't know how to do that. I think you'd have to take I'd probably I guess what you could do again, my crappy Mossberg pretty much takes the same tenon as a Origin. So what is it? Is that what it's called? An Origin? Send the Origin to like someone who knows what they're doing to time the fire control and all that stuff, and get it just absolutely set up like a bench rest, and then shoot it in the Mossberg and shoot it in the whatever the air the whatever other action. Oh, okay. Couple more questions here, and then we're gonna jump off of here. And I think I don't know. I need to load something. I need to do some loading. All right. I'm actually. Let's see. Two long range builds, one a multi cal. I can do barrel swaps on, and an older, and I dip my toes in. That's all rusted. It's one thing I don't actually own is a Remington 700, which is kind of sad. Yeah, and like reloading fun, you very well may be right. I don't know. I don't know anything about actions. I took apart that Mossberg, like the fire control, and I guess I thought I was going to be able to do something to it. I looked at it and I'm like, well, I can't really do much to it. I mean, it looks fine. Costs more to rebarrel it than to buy a new rifle. Well, that's not true. Depends. If you've got a lathe, it's not very expensive to rebarrel a rifle. 4D reamers, I rent a lot of reamers from them. They're great. You know, it's like 60, $70 round trip for a reamer. Heck, and if you buy a ballistic advantage barrel, they're $100. I've never used a Savage target action. I got two Savages. They're fine. I mean, they get the job done. What I really came close to buying a couple of years ago was a Howa, like a Howa. I think a long action Howa. Um, no WSSMs. No Winchester Super Short Mags. I think. No, I don't think so. I've looked at them, but they don't seem to have any popularity. Yeah, Outlier barrels. I'm familiar with them. I've got the 300 Norma mag I have on this channel had a 30 cal blank that we chambered in 300 Norma Magnum. It shoots great. Half-inch groups, um, pretty easily with that thing, and it's a hammer. Do you recommend anyone to rebarrel for a fair price? Unfortunately, no. I don't know anybody who does barrel work except for myself, and I don't do it for anybody else currently. Um, and that's really just because I don't want to take the time to do barrel work for everybody. I work a full-time job during the day, so I already work. When I come home, I don't necessarily want to have like 10 barrels I need to chamber in a week. Um, 25 WSSM. Huh. WSSM. I'm guessing that's shorter. I wonder what the overall length of that is. Let's see. 25 WSSM. 25 WSSM. See what that looks like. Winchester Super Short Magnum. I think I did look into this, but I wanted a 7 millimeter WSSM, right? Because what's the case length? Short, right? It's very short. But I don't, how do you get brass for that? WSSM brass? Do they sell that? Can you buy that? Hmm. Reform from WSM cartridges. So there is somebody who supports this. Hillbilly brass, whatever that is. Um, WSSM intrigues me, honestly. Not 25, not 22, not 6 millimeter, but once you get into the bigger cartridges, 7 millimeter, I think would be cool. But again, I have no experience with them. Let's see. Uber Fallen 762 sounds like he does his own barrel work waiting on his FFL part. So you're starting an FFL? Hopefully you're in Indiana, right? So we can use you. Paying over $1,000 for 7 hours some chamber job supplied by CRB. That thing shoots better shoot like a laser. Well, I mean, if you think about it, the barrel itself's 500, right? 500, $1,000. You're talking about uh 500 for the barrel, 500 for the chamber job. It actually takes a long time to chamber a barrel. I mean, in a manual lathe, which is what I use, like I usually like to break it up because it does take some time. Um, so if you, it at least takes me probably 5 hours, right? It's only $100 an hour. It's really not that good. Um, and it could take you longer, right? I mean, short cartridges take less time. Um, mm, I have a 7 millimeter WSSM. It performs about the same as 7 millimeter 08. Yeah, but you can put those long bullets in there probably and not worry about jamming them into the end of your magazine in a short action. That was my thought. Because 708 is great, but you get in that same magazine issue deal, case capacity and magazine issue with like 190 grain bullets. 22 Winchester short mag. When I bolt reloaded, I got the bolt pressure. Okay. Oh, you're in Texas. Of course you're in Texas. Everybody's in Texas, right? Who likes guns? Other short mags, 7 millimeter short mag. Yes, I consider doing this exact same project I talked about earlier. I don't know. There's only that this 300 SOM shortened project, right? That I'm gonna call the 300 RR SOM. I thought about doing a 7 millimeter, but I already have a 7 millimeter saw. So what am I gaining, right? 50 thousandths of magazine, right? That doesn't seem like that reasonable. Let's see. John Doe, yeah, didn't know, a lot of work. Yeah, and maybe people can do it quicker than me. My goal isn't to do it quick, right? It's to try to get a good quality chamber job as best as I can. Um, Threading the tenon, cutting the tenon, and all that stuff really doesn't take very long. Set it up. But the reaming of the chamber, you gotta drill it, then bore it, and then you have to run really nice, slow, small passes because I don't have a pressure flush, which has also been on my list of things to do. 7SS is optimized for 180 burgers. Yeah. Wait, SS? Yeah, that's probably true. But we're going 7 Swick eventually. So then I could put it in my impact, right? Because I don't have a magnum bolt. My 7 mm WSM has 180. I'm guessing you mean the case length is 1.7, not the total cartridge overall length. Yeah, 4 to 5 hours. I did a video start to finish on a Grendel chamber. Um, Obviously there are parts sped up. The smaller the chamber, the less time it takes, right? Because you have to remove less material. Um, but like on a Magnum, yeah, it's definitely probably 4 or 5 hour job. Winchester brass was so thick, it might be different now. Oh, 2.721. Yeah, that'd be sweet, right? You can really legitimately put that in a short action. The B14 tenon. No, it wasn't hard. I pulled my old one off, measured it. The bolt face is a little funny, right? It's got like a flat spot, then like a little cone, but it wasn't hard to do. It was pretty basic, not as easy as a flat tenon like the arrow, right? A flat face. Let's see. I've done it for a few people. Oh, never mind. I was retracting. Yeah, 7 Psalm. I got a ton of videos with 7 Psalm. A lot with the burger, and again, the problem with the burger 180 is it needs to be loaded longer than magazine length. Oh, okay, interesting. For that WSSM run to basically blow the shoulder out another 50 or 100 thousandths and see if that gets you more. Was the group smaller without the weight? No, the weight didn't matter. That shot like crap either way. Better to get a different barrel for my impact or the B14. I don't know what's on your B14 right now. If you got a good barrel on it. Um, the nice thing about impacts are there's tons of prefits out there. Like on sniper side, if you look around, there's tons of like even used prefits. If you just want something to screw around with. Let's see, loaded in a long action. Oh, you're talking about that song. Yeah, again, these people call this short action, blah blah blah, but it is not a short action. They need medium length actions. Yeah, short actions. Tika. That's why I'm gonna get a Tika. Because short action, long action, it's all the same. And I'm never gonna I say never. I'm never gonna load any of those huge magnums like 300 PRC or any of that. So we may buy a Tika. If I go into a gun shop and there's a Tika on sale, we may buy a Tika. Anyway, all right. Any further questions related to shooting or not? Reloading, anything else? Because we're about to wrap this up. It's been tough watching a 300. Yeah. You know what? It's been fun. It's been frustrating, but you learn more from crappy stuff, then you do good stuff. All right, John. Have a good day. Like you said, we're going to jump off here soon too. All right, guys. Thanks for joining in. It was a little tough at first, but 300 Norma content soon. I don't know, maybe. Probably not. Like I said, we got our hands tied with this seven song, this 30 RR psalm that we got going. All right, guys, we are going to sign off of this thing. Final questions. More Dasher content. That's actually coming. I actually like my Dasher and the barrels in the impact right now. Thought about a cartridge that is short like GT, fought it like but fought it like a SOM or WSM. Have you ever thought about a cartridge that is short like GT, but oh, it must be fat like a SOM or G? Yeah, I think that's that WSSM they're talking about, but for some reason didn't take hold. I don't know why. I'd have to do some research on that. Yeah, probably just not worth it. I guess I don't know. Don't we all like watching tiny little groups form on paper? Yeah, that's why I like the real small cow stuff, right? Like 22 GT Dasher and all that because you can actually see it happen. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining in. Oh yeah, Rand's Dandy. Yes, this is still going on. It's about to end though, so get your question in quick. Okay, we're hanging around for Rand's Gandy. 80 grain ELD VT and Dasher. Um, no, probably be a great option. Dasher shoots everything well. Hornady, do they have Dasher loaded? I can't remember. If not, Hodgson. Everybody think Rand's Gandy. I think he's the guy who sent me the conveyor belts for my targets and don't flip over anymore. Looks like his name. All right, quick guys. Any questions? We're about to get out of here. Okay, give you till 7:57, then we're out. All right, reloading fun. One question. You got 1 minute. Then I gotta get out of here. Do some actual reloading here. Okay, let's see. Do I have anything I can sneak peek in here for anybody who hung around? Probably not. Probably not. All right, you guys. Have a good night. Thanks for joining. Favorite bullets for 5.56. I don't shoot 5.56. 55 grain, I think, is all I shoot. Um, all right. And reloading live. No, I'm not trying to get a channel strike, which I don't know if you can do that or not, but we're being conservative here. So you guys have a nice night. I am, as soon as I figure out how to get out of here, I'm out of here.